ஸ்ரீ குருப்யோ நமः. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். நம சிவாயம். சத்திய ஞானானந்தம். எப்பாழும் பாழும் யாவுமாய் அன்றாகி முப்பாழும் கீழுள முப்பாழும் முன்னியே இப்பாழும் இன்னாவாறு என்பதில்லா இன்பத்து தற்பர ஞானானந்தர் தானதுவாகுமே. தொம்பதம் தற்பதம் சொன்ன துரியம் போல் நம்பிய மூன்றாம் துரியத்து நன்றாகும். அம்புவின்னா அதிசூக்கம் அப்பாலை செம்பொருள் ஆண்டருள் சீர்நந்தி தானே. மன்னும் சத்தியாதி மணியொளி மாசோயை அன்னதோடு ஒப்பமிடல் ஒன்றாமாறது. இன்னிய உற்பலம் உன் சீர் நிறமணம் பன்னிய சோபை பகர் ஆறும் ஆனதே. சக்தி சிவன் பரஞானமும் சாற்றுங்கால் உய்த்த அனந்தம் சிவமுயர் ஆனந்தம். வைத்த சொரூபத்த சக்தி வருகுரு உய்த்த உடல் இவை உற்பலம் போலுமே. உருவுற்பல நிறம் உண்மணம் சோபை தர நிற்பப் போல் உயிர் தற்பரன் தன்னில் மறுவச் சிவம் என்ற மாமுப்பதத்தின் சொரூபத்தின் சக்தியாதி தோன்ற நின்றானே.
நினையும் அளவில் நெகிழ வணங்கி புனையில் அவனை பொதியலும் ஆகும். எனையும் என்கோன் நந்தி தன்னருள் கூட்டி நினையும் அளவில் நினைப்பித்தானே. பாலொடு தேனும் பழத்துள் ரதமும் வாழிய பேரமுதாகும் மதுரமும் போலும் துரியமும் பொடிப்படியா உள்புக சீலமயற்கால் தோறும் தேக்கிடுமே. அமரத்துவம் கடந்து அண்டம் கடந்து தமரத்து நின்ற தனிமையன் ஈசன் பவளத்து முத்தன் பனிமொழி மாதர் துவலற்ற சோதி தொடர்ந்து நின்றானே. மத்திமம் ஆறாறு மாற்றி மல நீக்கி சுத்தமதாகும் துரியத் துரிச்சற்று பெத்தமரச் சிவமாகிப் பிறழ்வுற்றும் சத்திய ஞானானந்தம் சார்ந்ததன் ஞானியே. சிவமாய் அவமான மும்மளம் தீர பவமான முப்பாழை பட்டரப்பற்ற தவமான சத்திய ஞானானந்தத்தே துவமாதுரியம் சொரூபம் தாமே.
திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். நமச்சிவாயம்.
சிவாயம்.
ஓம் த்ரயம்பகம் யஜாமஹே சுகந்திம் புஷ்டிவர்தனம் உர்வாருகமிவ பந்தனான் மிருத்யோர்முக்ஷ்யமாம்ருதாத். ஓம் சாந்தி சாந்தி சாந்தி. ஸ்ரீ குருபியோ நமः. Yeah, so I don't know if you're happy or disappointed. We skipped the Tillai, the dance. Yeah, because there is no time. So we skipped. Otherwise you would have seen me dancing around him. I didn't want to do that terrible scene. So we skipped the Tillai. Tillai should be performed by Shiva, not by fellows like me with headdress or clean shaven, not beards. We cannot do this. Only Shiva can do the nartya. So I decided, let's skip it, not attempt. But it will look funny, odd. So, I must tell you, there's one person who wanted to do the Sufi dance. Jalaluddin Rumi is whirling dervishes. So he told me he's going to do it. I said, be careful, check the floor and surroundings and all. Then at 11 o'clock, I got a phone call saying, please come quickly, I have a fracture. So if you whirl too much without understanding why you are whirling, you can have fractures, you can have hemorrhages, anything can happen. Okay? Mm. So, this chapter we are doing is called Sat-chit-ananda. Satchitananda. Satchitanandam, Tamil எல்லாருக்கும் Satchitanandam. They read very nicely. I will attempt my horrible Tamil now. எப்பாலும் பாலும் யாவுமை அன்றாகி முப்பாலம் கீழ் உள்ள முப்பாலம் முன்னியே இப்பாலம் என்னவாறு என்பது இல என்பார் என்பது இலா என்பார் தற்பாத ஞான ஆனந்தத்தை தான் ஆடு ஆகுமே தான் அது ஆகுமே not ஆடு sorry so interesting. Well, you will come to the practical Shiva Panchakshara. This I will not skip, don't worry. I thought we will do it in the last session after going through a little more of understanding. Now, இப்பாலும் பாலும் யாவுமை அன்றாகி, that empty space is the empty space. Now here is a very nice, without thinghood. We put it in English, Thinghood. Thinghood. Which means here Shunya is referred to not as nothing, not nothing, but no thing. You get the difference? Nothing means you have an idea of there is nothing there. No thing is actually nothing. No thing means there is no thing there as we can conceive of in our minds. There is no thing there which we can speculate upon. There is no thing there where our five senses can reach. Therefore it is called no-thing. So, this empty space, palum, is empty space without thinghood. Yavumai anragi. There is no other thing there. It is only blissful no-thingness, not nothingness. After all the sadhana, we are not going into nothing. Then what is the point? When Swami Vivekananda went to England, he was very fond of Mr. George Ingersoll, who was a prominent atheist of that time. So Swamiji went to meet him. And Swamiji described to him that in a spiritual state of samadhi, there is nothing, everything is gone. So Ingersoll said, this thing which you work so hard to attain, I think I can do it in 2 minutes. He said, how? He said, you see the crowbar there, if I take it and give you one knock on your head, you will go into nothing. Swamiji said, this is not nothing, it is no thing. But I was reminded. So, it's not unconsciousness. It is non-conscious of all objects that we are normally conscious of, and therefore transcendent consciousness. Get Muppalam Keel Ulla Muppalam attain the three empty spaces and the three empty spaces below. Now here. I don't know why Tirumoolar always talks in puzzles. The three empty spaces above and the three empty spaces below, it has been interpreted in various ways by the Shiva Siddhanta philosophers. But Babaji's interpretation is that they are the three lower centers and the three upper centers, making only six. Why? Because the seventh is Shivam itself. It is not a station, is the culmination. Leaving that, the three upper centers and the three lower centers, they are called empty spaces because when you fix your attention on those centers, have no speculation. Be free. Hmm? Now he says, Palum innavaru yambadu ila imbatte. Put such a empty space which is indescribable and blissful. Tarpara jnana-anandatan adu agume. It is the supreme bliss of wisdom. Yesterday we discussed, even in deep sleep, when we are free of all the embroidery that is created, plain cloth, we are so blissful. Although we don't realize it at that point, but we do remember the blissfulness. Imagine that happening while fully conscious, not conscious. Everything is settled down, the waves have ceased to lap on the shores. There is only one flow, which is the flow of bliss happening. You don't build any banks for a river. A river makes its own banks because it has to flow, right? So what banks are required, it will take care of, not our problem. Just enjoy the movement in that bliss. Have no images about it. The moment I say this, you sit down to meditate and imagine me saying something or a boat going in the river. No, clear. When you say river flowing, it was only meant as a metaphor. There is no river there. It's absolute pure being. And that being, by its very nature, is Sat-chit-ananda. Now, what could Sat-chit-ananda mean? We'll go. Rompadam tarpadam konnat turiyam pol நம்பியமுன்றம் துரியட்டு நன்று ஆகும் அம்புவி உன்ன அதிச்சுக்கம் அப்பலாய் செம்பொருள் ஆண்டு அருள் சிறு நந்திதானே. That wonderful offering that you give to that Supreme Being, it is the most important offering that you can give. And who is the presiding deity there? None other than Nandi himself. This is very simple. It's just saying sacrifice everything as an arpana to Nandi. So he takes you to that Supreme Being where there are no definitions. Mannum Shakti Adimani Oli Ma kovai Annadodu oppam idal ondru amaru adu Inniya urpalam munchir niram manam Panniya kovai pagat arum anade anade. To compare that enduring Satchitananda with the luster of a money, ordinary gem, is an impossible comparison. It's utterly false. Which means no jewel, no diamond, no ruby can compare with that luster, with that lasting bliss. So to compare with that is utterly false. There is no comparison. Inniya urupalam unchir niram manam. The pleasing blue waters, water lily, pure, bright and beautiful. Panniya kovai pagar arum anade. Colorful, fragrant, enduring luster. This is what the six indicate. Which means there is no comparison to that experience of Shivam, which is Satchitananda. Even with the luster of the most valuable diamonds or jewels that you can even buy in Belgium, not written here. It's like the pleasing blue water lily. Have you seen a blue water lily? Oh, it's so beautiful. Have you anybody seen a blue water lily? Violet blue? You cannot compare it with any other water lily. Luckily, I have one in my place in Coorg. Lucky. We tried many times one day. Now this, it's pleasing, this Satchitananda, this mukha of Shiva Tirumoolar as the blue lily, pure, bright, beautiful, colorful, fragrant, enduring luster. Now the thing is, all the descriptions are like the blue lily. There's one description which does not suit the blue lily, it suits only Shivam. Fragrance. There is no fragrance in the blue lily. Here that fragrance has also been added. Right. Tirunavukarasar also wrote about this in a little different way. He said, the shade of my Lord's feet, so cool, like the faultless lute, the evening moon, the blowing breeze, the rich spring, the lake covered by the buzzing bees. Now, to understand Shiva and Shakti, Shivam and Shakti, we should have the wisdom of the Parama, Satchitananda. Shakti, Shivan, Parajnanamum, Charungal. The experience of the infinite, eminent Shivananda, the bliss of Shivam. Yutta Anandam Shivam, Uyaranandam, the highest bliss possible. Vaita Kurubatta Shakti Varu Guru. Shakti is the real nature, the Guru, as they understand it. What happened in this story we discussed yesterday? When the gods were completely confused, not knowing who the Yaksha is, who comes Shakti descends. This is why the Shaktas keep saying Shakti is superior. True, not true. But he appears and leads them. So who is the Guru here? See? And if you are, I think most of you are grihasthas, right? Married, most of you. Most of you. You have a perfect Guru at home, Shakti, who shows you exactly what you are. You can pretend outside whatever you want. Inside, she knows who you are. So you can some way say she is a Guru. Here also, in material way. So, if you want to understand how the husband is, you only need to ask the wife. Why are you laughing? Why? So, the experience of the infinite Shiva Ananda, the bliss of Shivam, Shakti is the real nature, Guru as understanding. I'm not saying that unmarried people will not reach there. Please don't mistake me. Maybe it's easier, I don't know. Because then that Shakti will become your Guru. The one with Shiva. The liberated Jiva, Uitavudallivai Urupalam Polume, the liberated Jiva is like the water lily, living, growing in the water and yet free of the water. Urpadaniram Unmanam Kovai Taranirpapol Uyirtarparam Tannin Maruvacha Shivam Endra Muppadatin Kurubatan Shakti Adi Tondra Nindrane. Just as the blue lily is blended with color and purity, fragrance, beauty, the soul is blended with the Supreme Being. Just as the blue lily is blended with color and purity, fragrance and beauty, the soul is blended with the Supreme Being. Shiva, the meaning of all the great three worlds. What are the three worlds? Waking, dream, and deep sleep. And what is beyond cannot be expressed. Turiya. So when you chant Bhu Bhuvasva Bhuloka Bhuvarloka Swargaloka, please, it's not Swaha. Many people mistake. They say Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha. There is no Swaha there. Bhu Bhuva Swa means short form of Swarga. These waking state, dream state, and deep sleep. Swarga, Ananta Sayana. Deep sleep. And what is beyond the Shivam, the Turiya. Shiva, the great import of the three words, stood there as Shakti. Somebody went saying Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva. He opened his eyes and there stood Shakti. Trying to say that there is no distinction in Shiva. Why? This is why the concept of Ardhanarishwara. Hmm. Ninayum alavin negila vanangi, adoring in melting love, which is beyond thought, outreaching thought. Thought has a speed. It's a short speed. We cannot even grasp it. Shivam has a speed more than even thought. You think he is far or it is far, but it is near. You think it is near and it is far. Upanishad describes it as tad dure, tad vatantike. It's far and yet so near. This is Shiva, the Supreme. You think it's far away, you're crying. Come. And here it is near, inside your own heart. So adoring in melting love, Ninayum alavin nigila vanangi. By going beyond also the thoughts that come in between you and Shivam. They are the only things that come in between. Oh, beautiful. Punayil avanai pudiyalum magum. Tie him up in poetic composition. There's no other way. Prose, I'm talking now, this is not a poetry, it's a prose. Prose cannot tie up the glory of Shiva. So where do you shift to poetry? Poetry has its own poetic license. Which is why all the great epics that we have in this blessed country are written in poem form. Gita, what is Gita? Bhagavad Gita, song of the Lord, song. What is Bhagavatam? It is also sung. What is according to Krishna, he is among the Vedas, Samaveda. The Samaveda talked about or discussed or sung. Sung. So tie him up in poetic composition. There is no other way. Material objects cannot be put at par with that which is the divine Shivam, because material things either are here or are there. They cannot be here and there at the same time because they are not all pervading. So what I'm trying to say is tomorrow, don't think I am in love with Shiva and carry one linga, throw wherever you go. That it is all over the world. You cannot cover it with your little linga. Of course, Basaveshwara asked the lingayats to each carry their own linga. Simple reason was some of them were not allowed to enter Shiva temples. So you should carry your own linga, meditate on it. So, tie him up in poetic composition. என்னையும் இங்கோன் நந்திதான் அருள் குட்டி. My Lord Nandi, by his grace, blessed me. He accepts Nandi as his guru. Ninaivum alavil ninaipittani. Let to think of him as far as thought can go. Beyond that, I cannot say a thing. As thought, says Tirumoolar, as long as far as thought can go, it was Nandi who blessed me and let me go. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done even that. பாலோடு தேனும் பழத்துள் இருடமும் வாலியபர் அமுது ஆகும் மதுரமும். This is poetry, pure poetry. பாலும் துரியம் பொதி பத உள் புகச்சு சீலமயிர் கால் தோறும் தெக்கிடுமே. Like milk, honey, and fruit, essence of the fruit, mixed together. The pure nectar, sweetness mixed, is the Turiya being pulverized. It's like Turiya, the state of Turiya. It's like not meant for diabetics. Sorry, this is internal, not outside. Like milk, honey, and fruit essence, the pure nectar, sweetness mixed. You can carry your Krishna and don't get so worried. When I said, can't carry your Lingashir, the pure nectar, sweetness mixed, is the Turiya being pulverized, like palum, padavum, all mixed, tenum. And in that joy, enters inside you and permeates every root of your body's hair, so that the hair stands up. Can you experience such a bliss? Where in the sweetness of it, the hair stands on end. This is the description of Sat-chit-ananda, Paramashiva, Shivaya Namah. So if you say that, if you think that Sundaranathar is not talking about bhakti but on more than anything. Amarattuvam kadandu, andam kadandu, tamarattu nindra, tanimayan ninchan, pavalattu muttum panimudi madar, tuval arra, odi, shodi, tudarandu nindrane. Transcending the celestial sphere. Where is the celestial sphere? Where all the gods and goddesses live. Transcending the celestial sphere, transcending the cosmos. The Lord is the individual but not related to anything, absolute. Tanimayan, alone, not connected to anything. With now next to Shiva stands Shakti. In the description again is very poetic. Tirumoolar. With coral lips, pearly teeth, dewy cool speech of the maiden, he stood as the unfading light. that Supreme Being, Shivam, being transcendent, Shakti, as Shakti being palpable, stood smiling with his pearly teeth and dewy, cool, coy speech of the Devi, of the maiden. He stood as the unfading light. Now, when you say Shivam, and that Shivan is one and alone, it doesn't mean like human beings being one and alone. Please understand. Here, oneness in all multiplicity. Whatever is multiple, there is one. The multiple is the Shakti, and the one is the Shiva, the oneness. And since both are same, there is no difference. Mattimam aru aru marri malam neki. Chuttam adu agum turiyat turichu arippu. Pettam marachis Shivam. Agippu piralvu urru. Shattiya-jnananandam Sharadanam Janiye. Dispelling the central 36 principles, removing the blemishes, purging the blemishes in pure Turiya, freeing from bondage, becoming Shiva, changing into Sat-chit-ananda. This is what the gnanis do. That means mala means all the impurities, all the kalangas, all the disturbances, all the confusions. When everything is cleared, therefore one gets free from bondage. It is the mala that binds you. You are free of bondage. And then entering the pure Turiya state, the great Jnanis become Shiva himself by entering into the bliss of Satchitananda and declaring Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. Only there. Don't start Shivoham now. Better Shiva Shiva. Until one has moved out of all imperfection and is clear and has no bondage whatsoever, only then one can say Shivoham, Shivoham. Till then, Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva is better. My understanding. Shivamaya avam ana mummulam tirappu avam ana muppalaippu parru arapparrattu tavam mana chattiyajnana anandadatte anandadate tuvam ar turiyam kuruvam adu ame. Tuvam aru turiyam kuruvam adu ame. Becoming Shiva, removing the three evil blemishes, detaching from the triple voids which cause birth, adhering to the ascetic Satchitananda is the real nature of Turiya. Which means when someone has touched Turiya, he can live with others, but he is alone. He is alone, but he is living with others. Both ways. The sense of him being himself as the ego has vanished. So then, because it has vanished and there is space, there is only Shiva. Space is required. Where is the space when we are full of things? If you don't have an empty vessel, how will you fill it with water? So when it is empty of all contradictions, but it's humanly impossible to do that. Therefore, catch hold of Shivam and say, send your blessings. Say Tirumoolar says, Nandi is his guru. Who is mine? Bring me the blessings that he had. Free me of the imperfections that I have, impurities that I have. Let them flow away like water, purifying water. When I chant Shiva Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namah, with this prayer, if you sit down daily and ask and call, I'm sure there will be a response. Main thing, remember, you have to empty the vessel. Otherwise, even if the Supreme wants to fill something in, there is no space. There is the space. I have concluded this is the truth. Theoretically, there is no space. Sometimes it's like the mind of a child when there is no, it may play with a toy, then throw it off, and take another toy, throw it off. It has no attachment to any of the toys. It's playing because it is enjoying. When one begins to live like that, day by day, now this is the last sloka in this chapter. We may elaborate upon this a little bit. It's a very serious thing. Now, mhm. When such siddhas, when they touch that reality called Satchitananda, they don't waste time like me. They don't talk. They sit quiet. They're quiet. They don't want to say a thing. You know why? Because all the chatter is over. The food is in front of you. See, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, when you go for a feast, before the food is served, everybody is talking, oh, there's the water, all nice. Once the food is served, there's only sound. So, in the case of a jnani, or in the case of a bhakta, or in the case of, let's say, an yogi, who has actually seen the real food served before him, he has no time for other chats and gossips and this and that, renew my license, nothing. He just enjoys the food and therefore is silent. When you're eating food, try talking. He just enjoyed the food, beautiful. And what was the description of the food here? Palum padavum, honey added and mixed together. I think there is a Tamil popular song also, Palum padavum kaile. So, this is why they become silent. There's nothing to say. You know how many words Ramana Maharishi talked? Hardly anything. Huh. There are lots of books saying that, oh, this is what he said, this is the conversation I heard and all, but he didn't say any, hardly anything. The only thing he said is, you find out who you are. Nan Yar is the only little booklet that is, nothing else. Why? Because he was absorbed in the bliss of that Annamalai. Of that Shivam, who in the temple there is called Annamalai, Tirumoolar. In that bliss, there's nothing to say. Now, if you say, why did he not instruct? Well, silence is a good instruction. Dakshinamurthy image, the concept of Dakshinamurthy is Shivam as wisdom incarnate. Right? Doesn't speak a word. People are sitting around him. They're not hearing anything physically. They are understanding what is going on. Their minds also become still. And he sits just like this. Nothing else. This is called the chin mudra. Not chin mudra, chin. And this indicates that there is nothing to say. See, what is formed when you do this? Shunya. And why this? Usually, when you point to the outside world, you point like that. Yourself, generally. So if you and I are of the same material, are the same Brahman, the same Supreme Being, you and I, the duality of you and I has vanished. There is only the Shunya here, plus Sat-chit-ananda. This is all that he is saying. Who? Dakshinamurthy. Those who understand, understand. Those who don't understand, they go home and have a Coke. So, this is the chapter on Sat-chit-ananda. Now, please come. I also enjoy hearing, that is why.
ஸ்ரீ குருப்யோ நமः. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். நம சிவாயம். சொரூப உதயம். பரமபுரவன் பரம் எங்குமாகி ஸ்திரமுற எங்கனும் சேர்ந்து ஒழிவற்று நிரவும் சொரூபத்துள் நீடும் சொரூபம் அரிய துரியத்து அணைந்து நின்றானே. குலைக்கின்ற நீரின் குவலய நீரும் அலைக்கின்ற காற்றும் அனலொடு ஆகாசம் நிலத்திடை வானிடை நீண்ட கன்றானை வரைந்து வலம் செய்யுமாறு அறியேனே. அங்கு நின்றான் அயன் மால் முதல் தேவர்கள் எங்கு நின்றாரும் இறைவன் என்று ஏத்துவர். தங்கி நின்றான் தனி நாயகன் எம் இறை பொங்கி நின்றான் புவனாபதி தானே. சமயச் சுவடும் தனையறியாமல் சுமையற்ற காமாதி காரணம் எட்டும் திமிரச் செயலும் தெளிவுடன் நின்றோர் அமரர்க்கு அதிபதியாகி நிற்பாரே. மூவகை தெய்வத்து ஒருவன் முதல் உரு வாய் அது வேறாம் அதுபோல் அனுப்பரன் சேய சிவமுத்துரியத்து சீர்பெற ஏயும் நெறியென்று இறைநூலியம்புமே. உருவன்றியே நின்று உருவம் புணர்க்கும் கருவன்றியே நின்று தான் கருவாகும் அருவன்றியே நின்ற மாயப்பிரானை குருவன்றி யாவர்க்கும் கூட ஒண்ணாதே.
உருவம் நினைப்பவர்க்கு உள்ளுறும் சோதி உருவம் நினைப்பவர் ஒளியும் காண்பர். உருவம் நினைப்பவர் உம்பரும் ஆவர் உருவம் நினைப்பவர் உலகத்தில் யாரே. பரஞ்சோதியாகும் பதியினைப் பற்றா பரஞ்சோதி என்னுள் படிந்து அதன் பின்னை பரஞ்சோதியுள் நான் படியப் படிய பரஞ்சோதி தன்னை பறையக் கண்டேனே. சுரூபன் உருவம் குணம் தொல் விளங்கி அரியன் உட்பளம் ஆமாறு போல மருவிய சத்யாதி நான்கும் மதித்த சுரூபக் குரவன் சுகோதயத்தானே. உரையற்ற ஆனந்த மோன சுரூபத்தின் கரையற்ற சத்யாதி காணில் அகார மறுவுற்று புகாரம் மகாரமாதாக உரையற்ற காரத்தில் உள்ளுளியாமே. தலை நின்ற தாழ்வரை மீது தவம் செய்து முளை நின்ற மாதரி மூர்த்தியை யானும் புலை நின்ற புல்லாப் பிறவி கடந்து களை நின்ற கள்வனில் கண்டு கொண்டேனே. ஆமாறு அறிந்தேன் அகத்தின் அரும்பொருள் போமாறு அறிந்தேன் புகுமாறும் ஈதென்றே. ஏமாப்பதில்லை இனியோர் இடமில்லை நாமாம் முதல்வனும் நான் எனலாமே.
திருச்சிற்றம்பலம் நமச்சிவாயம்.
சிற்றம்பலம் நம சிவாயம்.
The real nature of Shivam. Parama Kuruvan, Param Engumari, Tirumoolar, Enganun, Verdun Olivottu, Niravu Kuruvattul, Nidum Kurubam, Ariya Turiyattu, Anendun Indrane. The great Guru, none other than the Supreme Reality, Shivam. There is only one great Guru. One. Who is that? The Supreme Being. There is no other. All other teachers just manifest the divinity of that Supreme Guru. And that Guru, the Supreme Reality, the Supreme Being, Shivam, Paramashivam, is described as the Supreme. In the Upanishad, it is described as Brahmanandam, the bliss of the Brahman, the blissful Brahman, Paramasugadam, the most auspicious. Kevalam Jnanamurtim, only the form of wisdom, if wisdom has a form. Gandvaditam, no opposites, no night and day, no likes and dislikes, no attachment and hatred, none. Gandvaditam. How can a human being be like that? It has to be the Supreme Shivam. Dvandvatitam. We always have dvandvas too. Gagana sadarsham, as wide as the sky. Tattvamasya laksham, the attained or the realized understanding that you are that and not different. Ekam, only one. Nityam, always existing. Not somebody who is here and will pop off tomorrow. This M also will pop off. Ekam, only one. So that cannot be many, right? There is only one Supreme Shivam or Brahman, whatever you want to call it. Ekam Nityam, always there, not coming and going. Ekam Nityam Vimalam, no malas, no impurity. Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam, always the witness of all that's going on. not involved. Bhava atitam, no bhava of any kind, like or dislike. Triguna rahitam, beyond the three gunas of sattva, rajas and tamas. You know what the gunas are, the three gunas? Triguna is triguna atita. Such a being, such a supreme Shivam, Sadgurum tam namami. That is the supreme Guru. There is no other. When that greatness is expressed through some people, we say, oh, it's a great being. It is that, not this. So, that great Kuruvan, being vibrant everywhere, Yangum agit, everywhere present at the same time. So can a human being be present everywhere at the same time? So can a human being claim to be a Sadguru? Sadgurum tam namami, who? Supreme being. So, that great Guru being vibrant, the Supreme, is pervaded and blended everywhere without separation. He is not separate from anything. He blends with everything. He is part of this whole universe. He, the real nature, existing within the real nature. Niravu Kuruvattul Nidum Kuruvam. He exists as the real nature of what we think is real nature. We think this is all real nature. He is the reality that is inside all this, which is really real. And therefore leading us to this illusion to think that this is real, that is real. You can cheat him by understanding that only he is there, nothing else is there. He, the real nature, existing within the real nature. Arya Turiyattu Anendu Nindrane. He stands always in the state of Turiya. He is neither anybody's friend nor anybody's enemy. He is pure Turiya. And the Jiva, which understands this, reaches the state called Turiya Atita, beyond Turiya, which is the real essence of the Supreme Shivam. குலைக்கின்ற நீரில் குவலாய நீரும் அலைக்கின்ற காரும் அனலோடு ஆகாசம் நிலத்திதை வானிதை நின்று அகன்றானை வரைத்து வலம் செய்யுமாற அறியேனே. I do not know how to delimit or adore this Supreme Being. How? The one who is the length and breadth of land and space. In the earth, surrounded by the roaring sea and water, the blowing wind, the fire and the ether. How am I to delimit him and adore him? Because the moment I adore him, I am limiting him, delimiting him from that wide expanse. So therefore the ancients decided that while of course Shiva has been described in his different forms, Nataraja, ancient rishis decided that the best symbol for something that is undescribable, immeasurable, is a linga. Wouldn't have noticed the linga has no face, it has no arms, it has no feet. It's a symbol. Linga in Sanskrit means symbol. It's a symbol of the eternal standing. It is the pillar that lifts and holds the roof in place. You cannot have any roof without a pillar. We ignore the pillars and look only at the roof, but yes. And this, therefore, the lingam has been bestowed with infinite energy and power because it is a single one representation of the Supreme Being, the monad. So you don't see the face, you don't need to look. Because a human being, as the rishis did, can visualize any face you like. But when you have a linga, it's in all purity, pure and straightforward. And where is Shakti? The yoni at the bottom is the Shakti. So together they are. So therefore, many great saints have worshipped the linga. While chanting Namah Shivaya, there's one advantage of the linga. Your mind doesn't wander here and there, it stays in one place. You don't have to look anywhere. And what does Shiva want? An offering? What does the linga need as an offering? Just a few bay leaves and water. Enough. No other adambara is necessary. So this is the simplicity and purity of the concept called Shivam. So says Tirumoolar, I do not know how to delimit and adore this Shivam, the Supreme, the all-pervading reality, Parabrahman, one who is the length and breadth of land and space. Who am I adoring? I am also that, and the land is also that. Everything is that. How do I delimit myself and say, Shiva Nama, Nama, Shiva Namah Shivaya, and so on? In the earth, surrounded by the roaring sea, the water, the blowing wind, the fire and the earth, he is there everywhere. And when he feels like it, in joy and in understanding and spreading his energy around, he goes into this dance. You know how people say, I'm so joyous, I'm dancing with joy. This is the dance of joy, not for any purpose. For us to understand that the divine dancer is dancing with joy. So, what he's trying to say, how am I to limit the limitless one and worship? Words are inadequate. அங்கு நின்றான் அங்கு நின்றான் அயன் மாட முதல் தேவார்க்க இங்கு நின்றான் இறைவன் இன்று இத்தவர் தங்கி நின்றான் தனி நாயகன் எம் இறை பொங்கி நின்றான் புவனப்படிதானே. Right from the deities, Brahma, Vishnu, celestials, and whosoever, who are installed as deities, they have also worshipped him as the Lord who abides in Kailasha. My Lord the matchless Supreme Being remains immanent and transcendent. He is the Lord of the cosmos. What he's trying to say? That wherever any gods are worshipped, from Brahma onwards, and wherever any celestials are worshipped, you are actually worshipping none other than that Paramashiva in the other form. This is what Tirumoolar is saying. When he says Paramashiva, there is no form here. That formless, supreme, all-pervading Shiva, since he is all-pervading, wherever you worship whichever deity starting with Ma, you are worshipping the Mahadeva, the Supreme Being. Even if you look at all the old descriptions, you will see then when the gods begin to fight, they can fight sometimes. No wonder we are fighting. We are also gods. Finally, they decide, let's go to Kailash and see what our man is doing. Go there. He's sitting absorbed in the Supreme. The Supreme absorbed in the Supreme. Some of them wait for a long time before opening their mouth. But there is Shakti sitting near, you see. So every now and then then he wakes up, takes a look. He also goes down. What? This is the problem. Okay, we will solve it. Back into it. So this is the concept that is expressed here. The transcendent yet available. Shamayach Shuvadum Tannai Ariyamal Shamayach Shuvadum Tannai Ariyamal Kammai Arra Kamadi Karanam Yittu Timirachu Cheyalum Telibudan Nindor Amarakku Adi Adipadi Agi Nirupare. The wise people who are free from any religious identification. So that's why I said yesterday, this futile fight between Shaivite, Vaishnavite, it has to go, has to cease. On one breath, the Shaivite doesn't want to see Vishnu, rather with the Vaishnavite doesn't want to look at Shiva. And we are all talking about the united country. No. It's all the same, different forms of the same supreme reality. Please understand. Otherwise, we have no hope, even otherwise, geographically. Let me tell you. Yogananda Paramahamsa, in his ashram, they give great importance to Jesus Christ, who they consider to be a great yogi. Divinity can come in any way, in any place in the globe. It's not confined to one locality. Right? So, we need to remember that. It's 11 o'clock, so I'm going to stop. What we are going to do now, the next one is the wise people, think about it, who are free from any narrow religious identification. Narrow. And free form, who consider all forms as merging in the supreme reality. And who are free from the dark acts of restlessness like lust, etc. Verily become the Lord of the celestials. You know, celestials can always influence someone who is influenced by lust. That's what they generally, when Tripura Rahasya we will do in Murnad, you'll see, Whenever there is something happening, then the celestials descend and the rishi gets caught. So, if you have the capacity to hold on, nobody is saying you should not have a married life or you should not have the great Yajnavalkya had 2 wives. Please don't do that. We don't have capacity to handle that. But so it's not that. Lustfulness simply means that the man's weakness by which he falls suddenly to the temptation of the senses. It need not be only sex, it could be other things. Cool drinks may be very bad for my throat, but I want to drink cold drinks. I can't help it. This is a form of lust, believe me. It's not just confined to sexual acts. You must understand this. Lusting after something. So, those who are free from that really become the Lord of the celestials, immortals, because they discover the Shivam in themselves and become Shiva himself. But these qualities we have to look into. Now, okay, I will come back a little late. Let me finish. Um, when I was with Babaji, now in the Himalayan regions, he was quite, if not all, some people knew him. So next to where we were staying, near Moni Baba's place, there was a place where the sadhus used to join together and have discussions. So 3 days, heated discussions going on. On one side are the Jangamas. The Jangamas are purely total orthodox Shaivites, the Jangama, who always wear their ash this way from the cremation ground. And the other party are the what we call Babajis, that is the Bairagis, Vaishnavite. Here Namam, here. You see Akal Kotkar Maharaj, here Namam, here Namam, here Namam, here. And the other is this. So there is heated discussion. You know, when these people have discussed, it's almost like they're going to hit each other sometimes. You will not believe this. They do like this and start, like wrestlers. Even if you go to a Buddhist monastery, for instance, if there is a discussion, tarka, then like a wrestling match. So this is going on and no solution in sight, 3 days going on. So one of the Babajis, meaning the Bairagis, suggested, I think that Maheshwarnath Babaji is somewhere here. Why don't we go to him? I all agreed. But is he here? Sure, yes, he's here. Why? We saw that boy going up and down. He has got a habit of taking this boy now. He's there somewhere. So they found out. They went to Mauni Baba and he said, yeah, he did. So they said, please come and let this going on for 3 days. Please solve this problem. Right? So Babaji said, okay. He said, you also come with me. तुम भी चलो देखते हैं क्या होगा ऐसा ठीक है आदेश. So we went there and we sat down and discussion. So Babaji said, 1 minute, hold on, रुकिए. He asked them, okay, he asked the Jangama, have you seen Shiva? No. So what are you worshipping? The Padukas, the Linga. You haven't seen the face. No. The Vaishnavites, what are you doing? Oh, we are worshipping Narayana. Okay. Have you seen Narayana? No. Picture. Okay. So now please continue with your devotional activities till such time when you see the face. When you see the face, then you can decide whether he is wearing this or this. Why are you fighting now? Luckily, they accepted this. They said, "Ha, Babaji, theek hai. Har Har Mahadev," said the other guys. Namo Narayana, said the guys, and they departed peacefully. On the way, one of the Bairagis came near me and asked me, "सचमुच बाबाजी शिष्य बना लिए क्या?" I go, "Yes, Babaji really made you a shishya." I said, "It looks like it." ऐसे ही लग रहा है. हाँ, ठीक है. आशीर्वाद. Went off. So, it's like that. When you live with such a person, then you know what is going on. At least somewhat. We have already passed 15 minutes to this. So I'll come back a little 10 minutes late. Now the practice of the Panchakshara. That how to bring it into your own sadhana. This we will do in the afternoon session. Let me finish this. So afternoon session is the food being served. Till now, we are just gossiping, talking. Huh? Okay?